You are now tuned in to the GNWY podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the GNWY podcast, and we are super excited to bring in some amazing guests. And this is the podcast where people and purpose come together. So thank you so much for subscribing and tuning in. And we have none other than the two amazing people that were there from the beginning of the inception. Can we say inception one time?
Inception.
That was delicious. What? Of Generation Y. So if you can, make some noise for the two amazing people, Rocko and Josh. Everybody, make some noise. Oh my goodness. Settle down. Wow. Welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you for having us.
How y'all feeling?
Man, it feels good.
Listen, I'm excited because, for one, I don't know if you remember. You probably do remember, but do you remember our very first podcast that we shot in a lobby of a hotel in California?
Yes, I remember that. Yes, that was
before a podcast even got like popping, bro.
Man.
And
we were going for it, though. We were like, yo, this is the start.
We were like, hey, we got a camera. Might as well just throw together a janky podcast and do a video of it.
Right.
And we
did it.
It was like at 2 a.m. or something like that?
Yep.
That
2
was,
I think, yeah.
That one was so interesting that it wasn't even labeled. So we started at 2. That's where we went off from there. So, but yeah, bro, I really appreciate both of y'all have legit been there from the beginning, and it is legit been a ride, coming. Man. So, yeah, I think it's dope. Tell everybody what y'all do within the team for one, and then we'll also get into y'all being dope individuals yourselves. So, Josh Opara.
So
everybody gets your name wrong, by the way. So
my name is Josh Opara. The K is silent.
Yes.
But I am a creative director of dance. I pretty much choreograph
everything,
performances and whatnot. And yeah, I do the dancing thing.
Tell him about it, man. He's the choreographer of OKC, pretty much.
Man, just wherever I can.
Right.
Pour out my my gift and passion for dance. I'm all for it,
Yeah, man. Whenever we first met, bro, you were, for one, baby-faced Jay. That you were a child.
Right.
Probably the same haircut, though, right? Back in the day.
I think so, yeah.
Probably like 2013.
I've always been a Steve's,
Yeah. Bro, but
yeah, I didn't have no beard or anything.
Yeah,
right.
I was just straight.
You were baby face, bro, and you didn't have no kids.
Didn't have none of them. None.
I don't think any of us did, probably.
Right.
And then
2013.
Yeah, but you legit like I think we were at the same time of like on the cusp of like we're so creative, but we're wanting to do something with it. So let's stop hitting this wall here and just start breaking through.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so that's what I think that we were on that same like vibe of like let's just do something. Let's stop hitting this wall of creativity. But yeah,
I feel like one of the memorable moments was back when we were in San Diego. We were in that hot tub, the hot tub.
You
time
better
machine.
explain that. So,
right.
Yeah.
No, we were speaking.
No, it was just us, candlelit. It was delicious.
Us and the rest of the team.
We had a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, us and the rest of the team, and some lady who was the wife of the owner of U-Haul.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And she kind of gave us her whole story of how she, became successful. And I remember me like, man, dude, like leaving from that being like, yo, let's take this to the next level,
Right.
We've had plenty of conversations.
I forgot about that, dude. That was
one,
crazy.
That one always just, I'm like, man, like, that was fun.
It was funny because, like, I think it was her husband that started U-Haul, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or he's like the CEO or the owner or something right now.
The son. Maybe?
So.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I think he's some Irish guy, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
I believe so.
But she was super, like, motivating.
Yeah, she was very motivating.
We were there on a motivational trip, but she ended up motivating us in a hot tub.
Brought it out of her, you know what I mean?
It's probably the hot tub, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was so dope. The candlelit really made it really intimate. But bro, even Rocko, man, go ahead and tell people who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into everything else.
Well, yeah, you said my name. I'm Rocko. I
Yeah.
do some of the photography and video side of things, and also get down in performances here and there.
Bro. And even finding out along the way, both of y'all's history of dance, it continues to blow my mind. Because I'm not a dancer. And even though, Josh, in the beginning of GNWY, you made me dance,
Yeah, man.
okay? Because we were desperate in need for dancers. And then I was like,
those were the days.
Josh, you know what my capabilities are and the lack thereof. And you're going to throw me on stage, make us look like legit amateurs. And yeah, man, but legit, we went
did
on
it.
and on for practice after practice, and you had your first dance team with GNWY. It was hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
But we did it.
Yeah, we did it. Dude. Shoot. I appreciate those days, man, because like looking back, like we did everything that we needed
you
to.
see the growth, man.
At all means necessary. Like it had to be done, and
Yeah,
Now he knows he doesn't need to dance.
right.
right. I've got this whole list of people. We'll put
Right.
Jordan way down here, bro. But it was legit though. We did. I mean, still kind of in like a way we're trying to find places to practice and do what we got to do. But like back in the day though,
Yeah.
we were legit just doing whatever needed to be done, man.
Going to the YMCA.
Bro,
Yeah.
everything, man.
Yeah, we were.
But even going back
Yeah.
on the thing that I was saying about y'all's history though, like I did not know, for one, whenever we first met, I just knew that y'all danced. That was it, right? And then knew that you took pictures, knew that you danced and loved dancing and all that kind of stuff. But over the years, even now, still things keep revealing themselves of like, dang, you used to like break and do like some crazy stuff back in the day.
Right.
And then Josh, your whole history of dance, both of y'all traveled like to like Germany and all that kind of stuff too.
Germany. Yeah, that was fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And like y'all legit been in the game of dance for a minute.
Yeah, we tried some things. Yeah. Yeah, we tried some things.
Thanks. Bro, what's been the craziest like story back in the day that y'all have had with dance?
I guess the first time I met Rocko, I think I saw him we were sessioning at OU Student Union.
Yeah,
You.
man. Oh my gosh.
I
That
think it was
a
like-
long time ago.
Yeah, me, you. I think Chris
Wow.
was up there.
That was like over
Some people-
10 years ago.
Yeah, that was.
That's insane.
What happened?
Well,
Well,
we would always have sessions.
was crazy. Yeah. Tell us, Josh.
Man, we would just have sessions at the OU Student Union.
yeah.
Okay.
And just like
they had
B-boys
this like big study area with like different buildings. And
Yeah.
then there was like a Chick-fil-A and stuff. But in one of the study areas, there was like this random ballroom floor, like just perfect like wood to break on. You know?
Yeah.
And that just became a spot like in the late 90s to go to like for a lot of b-boys. And then
Really?
and then other dancers, of course, and that's like we just happened to run into each other. It's
That's
crazy.
dope.
I think Josh literally just like you were just already there in the study hall and you just walked up to us or something.
Well, man, how did it even start? I remember like
I
meeting
thought
some
you were Coach
guy.
Vinny or something like that, right?
Yeah, I was going to OU at the time too.
Yeah.
But I remember like, how did I even?
He just walked up out of his fraternity, just hey guys.
Yeah, no, it was.
Want to join the frat?
I met some guy at Cactus Jack's. You remember Cactus Jack's?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that
was
place
so
was.
long.
The video game place?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And like he was like doing like the dance DDR stuff, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I was into that and whatnot, and I would always go there and like
you probably mastered that
dance
game,
and stuff.
huh?
Yeah, man, I loved playing that game.
That's amazing.
I mean, yeah, it was fun. But I remember like, man, I don't even know who the guy was, but he invited me to a jam, and it was like on the south side at that time. And I think, man, that was kind of like the very first. I was like 17. You know, I showed up to this jam. I had my like Cancer Fund Drive shirt on from like high school and stuff, and like I went there with my buddy Richard, and I remember like, you know, battling in that, and then I think it was after that where maybe it was Chris Ree or somebody, and invited me to like session with him at the student union,
Oh, yeah.
and that's kind of
That's
when
right.
I started like just popping up there. I was already up there at the school, so I would just like stop by, and that's where like Vinny and Jay and all of them, Light, B-Boy Light, and all them.
Yeah.
All the OGs, like Ronnie, all of them were.
And you said that was started around what time? What year was that?
Man, I don't know. They were doing this like way before I even got there, so I don't know how long they started that, but this is like back in like, I was at OU around like
2009, 2000.
Yeah, 2009.
That's crazy.
Like that.
And you were already involved with the Rocko?
Oh yeah. Mhm. I moved here in 2007 from Tampa.
Okay. Yeah. And then, I mean, that's the whole thing too. Like y'all have led teams, like not out of town or like out of state, and then out of country too. Yeah. Like y'all have been in it. So like, and y'all were young at that time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so like, how does it feel like being a young person being thrown into like being a leadership group that's like,
oh man, honestly,
responsible for all these other people too? It's
really humbling to look on because, like when I moved here, the current like leader of Hype, you remember Craig Corbett,
right?
He reached out to me. I put a post on some MySpace forum at the time.
Oh, good old MySpace.
I know, right?
Who was your top 5?
I don't even.
We don't want to name drop. It'll start some drama. I'm just playing.
I just had a brain fart because of that.
Sorry.
What was I saying?
Talking about
you got invited, too.
So Craig reached out to me, and before any of like the underground like breaking scene did, and so that kind of was my introduction to like kind of what GNWY does now, and so pretty much since like 2009 or 2007, I've been like pretty much doing this, and it's been fun, man, because you get to meet people, you get to meet like the younger generation and kind of influence them in a positive way.
And you were just now you were telling me about a situation like a couple months ago or something like that.
Yeah.
You actually ran into or ran up on. That sounds like you're getting jumped. No, but there's a girl that ran up to you or something.
I was just cashing my check from one of our performances, and she just I was wearing my hat and she recognized the logo and everything. Yeah, like, you guys came to my school like 3 years ago, and unfortunately I forget the school name. It was like we chatted it up, and it's always good to meet people that remember you too, so that you can keep shedding that light, keep giving them that smile, and then sharing your that energy, to maybe that's what they need to keep going.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. And then over the years, I mean, I'm sure y'all have got like story after story of stuff like that, right? And so like, how does that feel, being able to use like y'all's gift to be able to open up that door of conversation like that? Like,
yeah, it's a big deal. Right. I remember like when I actually joined the organization previous to this, the way that we kind of even got into this was through my bro Cameron Misfit Graham. He was founder of Band of Misfits. Shout out to my brody. And we were competing, like we competed at World of Dance Dallas. We auditioned for America's Best Dance Crew season 6 in Houston, season 7 in Chicago. So we were doing a lot of things, and it was Cam that reached out to us, was like, hey, there's this this performance you guys want to do. It's there in the city, and so we linked up with, at that time it was Matt. So Matt was he was in charge of things, running the organization, and we performed at one of their like night shows, benefit nights or something like that, and they loved it and whatnot, and then we just kind of partnered up with Hype, and then that's when we started. That's when things kind of took off. It was really cool. We were able to tour overseas, and go to Germany and stuff, and we toured a lot of the military bases over there, which is cool. K-Town, Baumholder, Stuttgart, just a bunch of different bases. Yeah. And I remember at one of the performances, like assemblies, and after we performed, this kid came up to me and was like, you know what, like, I tried to commit suicide so many times, but after seeing you guys perform, they're like, changed my whole perspective on life. Like, I want to do what you guys do, you know?
Wow.
And like that just kind of like sent chills on my spine. Like, whoa, like to realize that, you know, just by doing something like this, you can literally change a person's perspective and, you know, give them hope to think that, hey, there's more to life. You know, there's the beautiful things in life that'll, you know, keep you going and whatnot. And it was just kind of like a, whoa, like one of those, like, hey, this gift is to be used, you know, to, you know, influence and, you know, pour into other people. And so it was just like, whoa, like
huge.
Moving forward after that, that's when I really started to understand that, you know, a leader isn't someone that just has a position, but anyone can be a leader, you know, to your friends, your family, if you have some sort of influence on them, you know, and that's what what comes with being a leader is that influence and understanding that your influence can negatively or positively like affect another person. And so I was like, whoa, okay, this is cool, you know, but hey, you know, with great power comes great responsibility
Spider-Man?
Or something like that. Yeah.
With great
Spider-Man.
dance moves comes great responsibility.
With great dance.
Right. But it was kind of one of those things like, whoa, like, okay, like this is
said by Michael Jackson.
Right.
With great dance moves. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, it was just
With great moves.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, it was just seeing that and realizing like, whoa, like, man, I always used to say, if you take care of your passion will take care of you. And all that stuff.
Yeah, every time you say, God.
And like, I just remember like,
Did
you know,
get chills just now?
I did, yeah. I think it's because of cold too, but
Right.
No, I'm playing. No, yeah, it's fire though, because that's true. And then I also noticed like whenever those type of moments hit the, he turned it off. You hear the beep? Beep, beep. Taylor's the GOAT, man. I'm telling you, we are going to get that camera. But for real though, like I think that those moments hit the hardest or hits close home to like us as the performers. Also more so whenever we start going through a transition in our life. You know what I'm saying? Whenever things are kind of heavy on our own, or like there's something that it feels like just like that time that I said that you and I met. Whenever we're hitting that creativity wall, which ended up us finding out that it was, you know, outside people that were kind of blocking us from that. But it's like during that transition of our life, we start seeing that those moments start hitting the most. What was the transition that you were going through during that time?
Say that again.
What was it? What was I feel like there may have been like, you know, something that you were ready for that kid's words to activate an inspiration in you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you think about it, like, I don't know if there was something going on at that time.
I mean,
nah, everything that you're saying,
you know,
Jordan, was a lie, actually.
Yeah. No, I just remember like just being like super, you know, grateful at that time because, you know, I had always wanted to be doing something with dance, you know, in my life. And I think at that moment, it was just kind of a realization of like, hey, you're outside the country, you know, first time ever, you're in a whole other, you know, environment, and what you do and what you've always loved to do is being used to like inspire and change someone else. And I think that just that realization of, you know, being like, oh, like being able for that to be revealed to me, to be like, oh, okay, like, so this is what it's really about. You know, it's not just about, hey, you know, I did this and now I can go around, you know, you got that ego and you're like, now you're feeling yourself because, you know, you got to do this and that. But it was like, oh, wow, like, this is me being used in a bigger purpose. You know, it's not just about me. So I just remember just being like, wow, this is like soaking everything up, you know, in that time, because it was a amazing time, an amazing experience for me. Like just the whole trip, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's, where did you go? Did you go with us on that? Did you go? No, no, you went to Florida, to Germany.
Yeah, I went to Germany. Yeah, that was a amazing time. Started singing that Boys to Men in the concert.
Yeah.
How long you've been singing that thing forever?
Oh man,
you got to bring it back every once in a while.
I wish
you
I
know?
could find that video. That's so funny.
That's insane.
I don't know what it is about that song, but man, it's a classic. You know,
it gets the acapella groups going like crazy. Yeah. What about you, Rocko? What's a moment that you kind of remember that sticks out to you really heavily throughout this whole journey of doing schools and performances and stuff?
Oh man, it's kind of crazy. I've like been doing it for so long. I have like kind of a few defining moments. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to narrow them down. I would say I'll start with like when I realized kind of my purpose is when I was first starting in 2007, and at the time I was like the same age as a lot of the like we were going into high schools. So I was like the same age as a lot of these kids, and you know, at the time I was really invested in deepening my spiritual journey, and so it was, you know, at the time I was I don't know, man, just you know, if you're religious, I just kind of felt like the spirit was over me at certain times, you know, and like just being at that age, some of the things that I was able to, you know, talk to these kids, and some of these kids heavily contemplating suicide, or just have really deep depression, not necessarily for suicide, but just feeling stuck and not knowing where to go, which is kind of like, you know, our purpose with GNWY is helping reveal their purpose. And I just around that time, it was like a defining moment, just because me being the same age at the time, it was really affecting them more. You could really see like this guy's my age, like and he's, you know, prophesying these things, you know. It's crazy. And I would say another moment, not necessarily like a defining or anything. When we went to Germany, I got lost in Paris for like 2 hours.
For real?
That's definitely like a highlight of all my experiences.
What was that like? Were you like in the streets, or were you in the airport, or what?
So we like the last week,
somebody's like, dang it, where's Rocko at?
The last week we had like 3 or 4 days to spare, so we spent one night in Paris and like the last 2 nights in Amsterdam.
Yeah,
that was fun. But so we're in Paris. Excellent. We go to the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, and we're like, let's go to the Louvre. We want to see the Louvre. And like Matt, the leader of Hype at the time, was like, all right, you guys got like 2 hours, you know, then meet here. And so I was like, okay, cool.
Back in the day, they didn't have a phone for GPS, right?
Well, you know, with we didn't have like an international plan or anything. He was
there with a huge map, like, I'm here. All right, I need to go over here.
No, it was like, well, I was just following these guys at the time, so luckily I was.
So Josh got you lost.
No, not at that time. So we go to the Louvre, and like the time's getting near, and like, you know, we were having fun, like seeing everything. It's like the Louvre, you know. And it's getting, you know, closer to time, and Josh was being 7 and was like, no, man, I want to see the Louvre. You know, so I was, you know, which is understandable. Like, we just like spent some money. This is like, we don't know when we're going to be back in Europe. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, you know, I got anxiety, so I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to go ahead and head back. You know, so I took it upon myself to walk back, bro. And so I ended up taking the wrong turn, and like, I don't know if you've like seen like other things of Paris, but residential areas like are these just tall like buildings and like narrow streets. So, and it's like a lot.
They kind of all look the same, or?
Oh man. Yeah, bro. And like, and you can't like, since they're so tall, you can't just like try to like move back a little bit and see the Eiffel Tower somewhere. Like you can't see it. So I'm walking for, you know, these past couple hours, and like I'm trying to confront people, like, where's the Eiffel Tower? And they were like, oh, I don't know.
Bonjour.
They're speaking Spanish, or not Spanish. French. Speaking French.
Man, you walked a long way.
Baxter, you don't know. You know I don't speak Spanish. No. That's funny. So no one knows English. They're all speaking French to me, and so. And I legit almost started crying, bro. Like,
I bet. Dude.
Oh man, I was like losing.
Who found you?
What did you losing do? Hope. So I eventually just like I went around one of the buildings, and I found like this younger kid just playing soccer, and I was like showing him the picture of the Eiffel Tower. I was like, he was like, oh, Tower Eiffel. I was like, so I've been saying Eiffel Tower wrong to these people, like, and it's not clicking. Anyways, and so. And so he like points me over, and I literally ended up needed just to take one more turn around the corner, and the Eiffel Tower was like right there.
It's like that.
And so I get there, and like everyone's just like at our meeting spot, like staring at me while I'm walking.
They made like a
Oh
pathway.
man, we were so far
through.
behind schedule too.
Dang, man, that would be very like anxiety ridden for sure.
Oh
like,
man, bro, I was
because
I was
legit,
almost
like
losing
you don't
hope
have a
after couple
phone, like
hours.
because you didn't have a phone, right?
Exactly.
That would be wild, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I went like past like an embassy at one point because there's this one randomly in the residential area. There was like these like gold gates, and they looked like
Heaven.
like yeah, like you've seen the movies how like sometimes they have like fancy entrances.
Oh,
Like it looked
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Like
Gotcha.
like it was like a black gate with like gold like accents and stuff.
Oh
Like
wow,
it was
wow.
yeah.
Welcome to heaven. You speak English.
Goodness.
Do you speak Spanish?
Oh my goodness, dude, that's crazy. I've never, especially in a different country. I'm sticking with somebody. You gotta have a traveling buddy.
Well,
dude.
you know, I was just my anxiety was at the time. I was
Right,
like, man,
right.
I don't want to be late.
That's crazy, bro. So like,
2
I mean,
hours late.
that just goes to show like the responsibility of being a team leader, right?
Yeah.
So
Should've
yeah,
just stuck with it.
Man.
should have stuck with Josh.
Good times.
Golly, that's dope, man. So like, even throughout like all of these okay, you said that your one of your biggest memories was you said San Antonio. Us like traveling out of state, right? Like with GNWY
To San Diego
or
Was that
San
one of those?
Diego. Yeah, my
Yeah,
bad.
that was one of them.
Diego.
Obviously,
What hit you for that one? Because I'm
it
trying
was
to
the one
remember
in
the
the hot
trip.
tub. That was the one.
Oh, that bone. Yeah. Okay, got you.
Now,
yeah.
I remember when we first got out there to San Diego. I think we went to a hookah shop and it had like ice cream in the shop too. That was
Yeah.
that was interesting.
Right.
But outside of that one and the Germany trip, there was a time when we had an Oklahoma assembly. It was like right before like Christmas break, and we went to, I'm not sure what school it was, but after that assembly, one of the girls came to us. I think she had like a suicide letter because she was going to like commit suicide over break or something like that. And she was like, you guys pretty much saved me from this happening. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
But
I think we ended up giving her or introducing her to a counselor or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember that one. Yeah,
I'm like, dang. It's again just those
and that was whenever we
reminders.
first started. Those type of moments like blow me away because like thinking about like now, whenever we're like still impacting people, but like we still feel like we got a ways to go.
Yeah.
But like thinking about back then when we had Guitar Center rental sound system and like legit nothing because we had to start over essentially, right?
Yeah.
And like
Yep.
started from there. We were like
Started from the bottom.
still
Not real.
impacting people though.
Yeah.
Like that still blows my mind because it's like it really doesn't matter like what setup you have, but as long as y'all got the right hearts,
Sir. Yeah.
To
purpose and
impact
vision.
That's what matters, definitely.
purpose
Yeah.
precedes like the pain that people are going through, right? So it's like people see the transparency, people see the vulnerability, people see when you're being authentic, and then I feel like that's what they're connecting with, right? So,
That was
what
enough-
about you though, bro? Like, what was a good moment?
hey man,
for
we're
you
not
through all
switching this
this
interview around, bro.
Hey, you're Gen Y
No, I'm
too. You know
playing.
what I'm saying?
No, I think it's I've got a lot of moments.
Yeah.
I think
Remember when we went out to Texas, the stadium?
that huge one.
It was like
Yeah.
3,000 kids, and
Bro,
Oh, nice. That's what's
that
up.
was a good one too.
that was a weird situation, but dope at the same time. Because like for one, we had a couple of new people on the team at that time, and that was their first performance. That was one weird thing. But the second weird thing was none of those kids really knew each other. There were a bunch of different groups
Yeah.
that just
All just came-
3,000,
yeah.
and it was just lit as
Yeah.
frick.
That was
right,
a lot of fun.
and
That sounds dope.
it was crazy. But like, and then they had a bunch of cups that was super annoying. But other than that, but yeah, that was very impactful. But I'm trying to think about because that one was really impactful because we just got done doing a night event at a church the night before.
Mhm.
And then before that, I think we were doing something else. I can't remember. But we were in Texas for like a couple days.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. I think the biggest thing that's very impactful about just performing in general, and it goes for every show, but it's like we are thinking okay, this has to be done, this has to be done, and then we perform, and then this has to be done, this has to be done, and then we're out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But like whenever the moments of, those kids and us getting done, and then all of them come, take pictures, buy merch, do whatever, tell you their story. But it's always the kids that stick around after that. Yeah. Those are the ones that kind of hit it harder because it's like it's like all these other kids, they wanted attention and pictures and stuff, but it's the kids that stayed afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Because they were like, I remember a couple of instances. There was one kid obviously came up to me, was like, man, I'm short too, and I hate it, and like and then started going on his life story, and then he was like, man, I just feel very alone and all this kind of stuff, and we started going in about talking about purpose and talking about even during the struggles that you're going through, there's still going to be an outcome from it that you can make positive. Exactly. And just seeing that aha moment in a kid, I think that's the biggest thing. So definitely, regardless, I think overall these 100,000 students that we've been in front of live, it's just dope doing it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. What you were about to say something though after.
Yeah, my bad, bro.
No, it's fine.
What?
Just
Me?
Never let it happen again.
I wasn't about to say nothing.
No, before I said something, you were about to say something. So.
Hakuna Matata. It means don't worry.
What a wonderful phrase.
Don't worry.
I think the cool. What has been the changing factor of it since y'all have had kids though? Has there been any deeper meaning for it?
Yeah, definitely. It's because you also like you kind of see how like a lot of the younger generation they kind of like don't have like social respect for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like they'll just kind of say whatever and not care about the consequences or anything like that. Yeah. And so it's especially like I game a lot too. And so you come across some of these kids that are just like exactly, but when you do what we do, you kind of look at that in a deeper meaning, like, man, these kids really don't have like an influence. You know what I mean? Like their kids are allowed, like their parents are allowing them to just like put on some headphones and a mic and get lost in their world, which I understand. Gaming's like, it's amazing, it's fun, it's a great outlet, but you if you're a parent and you're letting your kids do that, the parenting part is kind of being ruled out at that point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely think it's like tougher.
Both of y'all got villages, man. Y'all got
we got
1,000, right?
We got our own tribe altogether,
right? Yeah. I just think it's tougher in general for like these kids that grew up in like this social media, like whole world. Like, when we were in school, like we had Palm Pilots, and like we were just now kind of right before things really start to blow. But nowadays, these kids, they're getting cyberbullied, and they're getting, and then they're also being influenced by, the TikTok culture. Everyone's trying to make that viral moment so that they can go viral and make some money or whatever. And, it's just, man, I bet it's tough, being a kid that's growing up in this like day and age and, trying to figure out who you are, your identity.
Validation at the same time.
You're trying to find your tribe and stuff. And it's, you're getting told plenty of different things from, social media, or you're seeing other people's lives being presented on social media, and you're like, man, why is it that, they're telling me to do this and I'll be successful by next week and it's not happening, and then it's like
everyone's expecting.
Yeah, that cognitive dissonance starts to happen.
Instant gratification.
Yeah. And, that starts to really take a toll on a person, and then they start to realize like, man, like this world, it's tough. This world as a whole sometimes doesn't care about you, Right. And I feel like in turn, that's what feeds people's mental illness to the point to where they don't care about people. And then you start to see certain
and they're trying so hard to be validated. They kind of like lose sense of themselves in a way. And like as far as like who they are with themselves.
It's real. That's real. Was it what that I think like even starting from the beginning of Generation Y and then now, and you seeing the huge influence in like social media, because like we had a little bit of a following with the last group that we before this, and then getting it to where it was like you kind of had like a little bit of a filter with pictures that you posted, but like now it's all crazy. But it's like seeing it then, it was kind of like I would say what the beginning of Facebook was like. It was like, oh, it's cool, we can just post something, it doesn't really matter, we're just trying to get it wasn't even trying to have influence on Instagram. It was just like a feed that you're just posting stuff just to be posting stuff. And then now it's like you have to be posting legit 3 times a day. You have to be posting, whatever type of story, post, captions, all these kind of things. And then everything is like a full-time job within this one page,
really is, man.
right?
It really
being
is.
Being an
Content
entrepreneur
creator.
is literally, it's a full-time job.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And it's like how you mentioned about like, starting over, how like, the hype Project Elevate. And then here we are now with Generation Y. Never mind, because I just forgot the point I was going to. I'm so
It's
sorry.
just no, just I mean, even a big piggyback off that. Just I feel like with Generation Y, we were able to overcome a lot of the obstacles or walls that maybe we were hitting before. And to get to a point to where we had an amazing Balta week with Emmett North. And us being able to partner with them and whatnot, and we've come a long way, and it's definitely it's amazing.
It's dope because it's like it's showing that, for one, the need of talking about mental health, talking about how you can use the creative arts to improve your mental health, and then also like just this whole sense of purpose and life in general, because nobody's really talking about it right now. It's like, it's not even right now, I would say. Grabbing the wrong thing. Look at me, about to drop everything here. But like the whole concept of like, even in a way, like charitable organizations or like nonprofit or just organizations in general, it's like it's providing like it's fulfilling the need of what the other people think that they need. Does that make sense? Yeah. But like we are, in a sense, performing the service and creating an opportunity for students to get involved that they are so interested in.
Exactly.
That they want to be able to be like, oh, there is a life outside of social media. Oh, there is a like world outside of my school. Yeah, exactly. Oh, like there's an opportunity out there that I never thought could be possible, right? And so it's like, I think it's just so dope being able to meet the kids where they're at and where they actually want to be.
Yeah.
Definitely. Instead of like, I'm fulfilling a need because I think you need this.
We're initially that seed, and that grows to their change. You know what I mean? And in a way, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Say that again.
So we're like the seed that's planted that helps like grow that helps lead to their like change to their growth. You know what I mean?
The first way you said was
I don't even remember how I said it, bro.
Well,
it's just
the
flowing
seed for them
what
to
I mean?
realize their purpose.
Right.
Yeah, definitely though.
How would y'all identify what purpose is?
Shoot.
Because like I've been talking to a couple people about this, and like, because we talk about purpose, obviously, right? And then even talking with some teachers about it, like talking about purpose, but it's an intangible thing.
Yeah.
How can you find an intangible thing without, you know what I'm saying? Let's say Generation Y didn't go to your school. Let's say somebody didn't meet you in the middle where you can be able to, how can you as an individual be able to get to an intangible thing?
Very good question.
Like on your own kind of discovery?
Yeah. I have my own theory about it, but I want to see what y'all think.
Shoot, man. I never really thought about it, but I would kind of say, even if it's like not necessarily something that's like financially like blessing you, and you don't have to be helping, like what we do. We with our purpose, we help others find their purpose. Like it's not necessarily anything that has to be related to that. Like they can have their own little like professional skateboarders. You know what I mean? But
it's a real
thing.
thing.
I would say it's just something that you're happy with. That like, oh man, it just It's kind of hard to put into words, actually. I've
Right,
never really thought
right.
about it, so now I'm
See?
going to contemplate on that now. But
to even to piggyback off
yeah,
what Rocco just said, like, yeah, I feel like it definitely starts with what you're interested in. So a general interest, like, so being interested in dance, you know, I've always had a love for dance, but, you know, at that point in time, maybe I wanted to, you know, do this with dance or do that with dance. Like I didn't know exactly kind of what or how it would come about. I just knew I had that passion and love for dance, and it just like stayed with that.
Yeah.
And I think at some point, you know, it gets to a point where you have to start doing deliberate practice. You have to you have to chop it down. It's like a funnel. You got to kind of bring that funnel closer down, fine tune it. So
that's when you're like, that's a great way of making purpose become a passion.
Right. Just like in like when you're dancing, you start with dancing or whatever, and then you got to start getting into the deliberate practices, the drills, the techniques, start working on the different styles. That's the deliberate practice, you know?
Yeah.
But in that same instance, like dance, a deliberate practice, like, okay, what do I want to do with dance? Do I want to be the person that's touring? Do I want to be the choreographer? Do I want to be a director? Just kind of whatever it is, you want to kind of hone in on that. And then through that deliberate practice, I feel like your purpose will be revealed, you know, and it'll be like, oh, okay, so this is,
I like that.
This is like, and I feel like that's kind of for us, maybe, you know, looking back, that's, you know, kind of how we ended up in this position. You know, we always had a love for dance, and we were doing this, and that, you know, and one opportunity it took for us to deliberately, you know, focus in on this, you know, with these, you know, nonprofit organizations that deal in the mental health space. Like that was our deliberate practice and kind of where we focused. And through us performing, you know, and, you know, kids coming up to us and telling us, hey, this is like changing my whole perspective in life. That's when I feel like a purpose was revealed. Like, okay.
Exactly.
So here we are, you know? And then once you have, you know, that purpose, it's all about just having hope and faith, you know, the positive, you know, mindset to keep going, you know, and that's what your purpose does. It keeps you fresh so that you can keep going, you know, and that's what, you know, developing that grit to keep going, you know, that's where you're gonna finally start to see, you know, that revealed, you know.
He's on point,
bro. I know.
He's on point.
That's why I love having deep conversations with y'all, man. So that was legit. I mean, we'll go back to this conversation, but this was, I was gonna let you know too. But like I can remember it. We were downtown, super late at night.
Sorry.
Right. We were downtown. We were in your white car, and see, this is how I know details, right? So like we were talking about it, and I was like, bro, I think it should be called Generation Y, WHY, because. And then we started talking about, you know, this whole purpose side of things. And during that time, Oklahoma was pretty high in the statistics for suicide, right? Yeah. And so I was like, it's because students are losing the sense of what identity looks like, right? During that time. So, and then we were just having this whole long conversation. Didn't leave for probably like 3 or 4 hours. And it was getting super late, and he was like, bro, I gotta go home, and you know, and I was like, all right, cool. So but yeah, like every time we get together, man. But I think that's what I've written down too. It was like, it starts out as a passion. You once you perfect or like get to the part where you feel like you're practicing and your performances are getting like to a point of like perfection. That's whenever you start to see the purpose coming in. Because like in at the end of the day, low key, like any profession that we want to do or any position or any whatever, we're wanting to help people, right? Yeah. In a sense. Ultimately. Like even if like you are stupid selfish, let's say that you were like, you know what I'm saying? I want it all to be about, okay, whatever service you're providing, you're still helping somebody, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day, like our, you know, subconscious or whatever is trying to help people. You know, even if it's helping us, right? And even to fulfill whatever we're trying to do, but like we're still wanting to help people. And so like regardless of what you want to do, figure out how it's going to serve somebody else
Right.
like in a legitimate, like I'm fulfilling a need. You know what I'm saying? And so whenever we started Generation Y, our fulfillment for other people was for that purpose, low key. You know what I'm saying? And it so happened to be like we just used the creative arts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but once we perfected the, performance side of it, everybody on the team started seeing their passion fulfilled. And then also their purpose started to come to fruition. And then now it's like, dang, like we all are serving a bigger purpose.
Definitely.
Doing all of these performances. And then I figured out a deeper level too is there's a burden for it now. So like there's an urgency to your purpose. So like then I started adding like the whole, that's why I was asking y'all about your kid, you know what I'm saying, and being parents and stuff, because now I feel more urgent about, now I'm talking to my kid. Just imagine how many Kimanis and all of your kids that y'all got. Just imagine all of them out there to the crowd that you're talking to. Just imagine that you're talking to like a group of your kids. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a burden that is a lot deeper, and your purpose starts to serve in a more intimate way.
Definitely.
I don't know.
And I mean, I feel like I get that experience too when I teach at my dance studios and stuff too. Yeah, my kids, they're like, they're the kids that are in high school and stuff.
Because you teach, go ahead, you can like say
so,
to the
tell
your services, bro.
I mean, I teach dance, so I'm teaching at Studio 5678 in Yukon. And Sin Studios in Midwest City. I also like teach dance camps and stuff.
Too?
Teach privates. Do dance camps at Oklahoma Contemporary during the summertime.
Bros all over the place.
I'm always
this dude's hustling, man.
He's out here moving,
all while still having to doing things day to day, bro.
Yeah.
Huge.
No, but I mean the kids definitely they. Now that I have my own, when I'm speaking with my students at the studio, I feel like I have that, I have that duty now because I am a father,
As a dad, By the way, happy Father's Day to both of y'all.
Hey,
thank you, sir.
Bro.
I feel like,
and congrats on getting engaged.
Hey, appreciate it.
But I feel like, at least to my students, I'm like the big uncle or somebody to them that can just kind of be like, hey, give them a little bit pointers here and there,
and kicking game of life.
Sharing what I can, what I know in order for them to, not have to.
What's even crazier about you mentioning that is like me growing up, my father left me when I was 2 months old.
Jeez.
So like some of these kids don't have a male figure, you know what I mean? And you know your kids better, so some of them most likely do, but like so you're probably impacting in more ways than you think.
No, for sure.
There's a whole deeper level too.
Yeah, and just being and it's kind of interesting because like for a lot of the kids at my studio, whether they be like young kids or the older ones, like this may be the first time they actually are learning from a male teacher, and so
I totally didn't think about that.
So there's a lot of things that go into it, which is it's just like
because there's not a whole lot of male choreographers like you.
Or male teachers that are in these studios often, or for me it's just
I didn't think about that. That's tight.
But it's interesting because it's like I have little 5 to 8 year old kids, and then they see this like tall, like 6'2", black guy, who's teaching them. So everybody think like, but they end up loving me, once they and they see it. But
that is dope. And
it's amazing
because even at that, like I mean, for one, you have two daughters and then a son, right?
Yes.
And then you also have 2 girls, and so it's like.
And a son.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, right?
Did y'all just copy each other? Jeez.
Jinx.
right. But like even at that, like because like you're speaking to, I mean, majority of your group is like little girls, right? And then how many
of my kids? Majority of my kids at my studios, I teach like one 5 to 8 year old class in Midwest City, and then all my other classes are like my high school kids.
Got you.
So they're right in that age where they're.
Are they like majority like girls or like
like 99% of them are girls.
Right,
most definitely. In the dance studios, you're gonna see a higher percentage of
and
girls
like
than you do boys.
And speaking to them, and like it's legit. Like they need like somebody like
Sometimes they just need someone just to just say, hey, how was your day? Like well, what was something that good happened to you this
Right.
week? You know, like just to chat with them and just kind of
Yeah.
build that rapport with them. Like,
Yeah.
it's great, you know, and then you get to see, you know, you get to, as you're teaching them, you know, getting them ready for recital, you're mentoring them, and then you get to see them,
Right.
you know, on stage,
That's
you know,
dope.
in their ultimate confidence and self-esteem,
Yeah.
on stage performing.
But
you
them,
know.
Oh,
them
man.
seeing you proud of them is probably
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
validating to them,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And like, just like this past weekend, I just got back from Branson, Missouri, because my kids competed at Stage 1 Nationals in Branson, Missouri, and they
Congrats.
yeah,
That's dope.
I was proud of them for simply being able to like go on stage and
Yeah.
and do my stuff, you know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
kill it with
Right.
with the
Definitely.
confidence and you know
Yeah.
and everything, and just it's looking back, it was like, man, it was a great year, you know, and
Yeah.
you know it's kind of the reward in it that I get,
Definitely.
you know,
Definitely.
seeing that, you know, and seeing the growth, you know, and understanding and realizing, your purpose, you know, for helping others and seeing how, you know, how your influence can better someone's life.
What's
you know?
that? What's that like creating like a choreograph, and you're going into, and we'll get into the last thing that you just got done creating, which is even more crazy. But like, you know, what is that feeling like? Because I mean, have you done a choreograph, like made one up too, Rocko?
I've done
yeah.
a couple.
Routines,
I
yeah.
use, you know, well, I'm still in Band of Misfits.
Yeah.
And like back in the day, we did some numbers.
So
for
what's
sure.
that like for you guys to like create something that's your own, and you having to teach somebody else to do it and doing it right,
Yeah,
and then
it's
does your
it's-
perfectionist
let
mind
him
like
take
kick
that
in
one.
or what?
well, I mean, it's just a lot of work.
You definitely got let
think,
down whenever we had to do your choreos.
well, I mean,
All right,
sometimes,
guys,
like,
let's do it.
All right, guys.
Let's get this over with.
Like, bro, it's so funny. Those
man.
moments will never leave my mind, bro. It's so
Oh, bro,
funny.
there's a time where we there's this at OU, they had this event called Invasion, and there's this one moment where I've just forgot the choreography.
It just dropped out of
And
your
you just
brain.
see me take a left off stage, like you just see me forget, and I'm like, all right.
oh man,
And then I come back on stage for the bow. Like I'm like, oh yeah.
Thank you.
I walked off.
I came back. Yes.
Goodness. Yeah, no.
That's funny.
I mean, shoot, it's you know, when there's being a dancer, a choreographer, and a teacher, you know, and when you're like teaching, like there's a lot of work that goes into first choreography,
Right.
you know, and then teaching it. Like it's a lot of work, you know, from finding the music to mixing the music.
And people don't understand.
They don't
that.
understand.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like students, the kids, they don't even understand. Like,
Right,
man,
right.
like us as your teachers and faculty, we put in a lot of work
Right.
to, you know, put a 1 to 2 minute, you know, piece on stage.
Because it's not
for
like
recital.
y'all are going on YouTube and just grabbing a choreo that you want to teach
Yeah,
them, and then, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are legit from birth. You are
Yeah.
creating this from inception to
Yeah.
you know perfection. So
Yes, and it's you know, it's work because first of all, sometimes you have to. For me, it's like I've got to wait sometimes for the ideas to come in, to drop
Right,
in, and then it has to go from that idea or concept to, you know, finding the music that can actually like tell the story.
Yeah.
You know, and then when you start to choreograph it, you know, you're choreographing this within time, space, and energy with people that are putting on, you know, certain characters or emotions or feelings in order to tell this story that the audience is supposed to receive and understand and maybe have some sort of emotional connection to within that. And so, yeah, it's a whole process, just like, you know, just like every other artist process, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it takes work.
Bro, that's why I really think that whenever people actually, and that's what I'm excited about too, like us getting like a vlog type thing for people to watch how we create stuff. But like, you know, for legit from the idea to the end thing, because now we can even go into your other like whole concept thing that you just got done doing, which is huge, man.
Right.
It's a part of the ism, you know, with the
Right. So
illuminate, right?
right, yeah. So,
So-
I was a guest choreographer for a race dance company's show called Illume.
Yeah.
And this happened June 10th and 11th, just a couple weekends back.
Yeah.
At Oklahoma Contemporary, and I was tasked. There was 3 acts. It was 3 acts to this whole show, and you know, the first act was the 5 stages of grief, and then the second stage or the second act was called isms. And so we were pretty much allowed to choose any type of ism or create our own ism to portray and whatnot. And so for me, it was like, at first I'm like, man, isms, like, where to even start with that, you know? But I eventually ended up creating a piece called Traumatism, and it was you know, based off of you know, Trauma, the song by her called Trauma. And you know, it you know, I really had to like kind of really dig deep into like, you know, do my studies and really kind of just like read up on this, because sometimes when I think of trauma, I think of grief, and I think of them at the same time. And you know, understanding that they're, you know, different things, you know, they're two different things. Like you know, the grief is the start of that grieving process, is like the healing process, but like trauma is what prevents you from even starting the grief or starting the healing process. And so like understanding like trauma is something that happens within you from, you know, some sort of traumatic experience that maybe you never addressed or were able to start that grieving process. There's typically like 2 things that a person will do when a traumatic experience happens. They can either, you know, start the grieving process and overcome it, or they might take, you know, a road that's less destructive. That's destructive, you know, as far as, you know, substance abuse or trying to numb the pain in that way, you know. And so this piece that I, you know, created, it was
pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's a heavy one, but it was loosely based off the, you know, the main character, his traumatic experience that he had, and how that affects his relationships and, you know, with his girlfriend, his best friend, and you kind of see this play out throughout this piece. But you know, it was you know, it's interesting because like this trauma, you know, we start to see him, you know, try to numb the pain in the only way that he feels that he can, you know, through substance abuse, through drinking, and things like that. And you know, you see him constantly lash out to where he ultimately perpetuates the same trauma that he experienced on his girlfriend. And you see it happen in the piece that he like perpetuates that same experience. And you know, towards the end of the piece, his like best friend comes out on stage and he's like, was it worth it? You know, because he just perpetuated what he saw his father do to his, you know, mom. He's now perpetuating doing that to his girl and traumatizing her in a sense. And then she exits stage, and then his best friend comes on and is like, was it worth it? And, you know, his best friend was somebody, his story is he's overcome, you know, his own traumas and stuff. So it's the best friend talking to him now, like, was it worth it? And kind of, you know, kind of getting into him like, yo, you know. And eventually, you know, towards the end of it, you know, he has another one of his like episodes and whatnot where he tries to numb the pain. And, you know, at this time, you know, they're a little too late in, you know, because if you continue down that path, you know, you're going to see what happens if you continue down that path, you know, versus, you know, trying to start that healing process, you know, and that's kind of what is, what's being portrayed in the piece. And, it was, it's definitely a powerful one, man. I kind of, you know, think about it, you know, and, you know, hopefully we can get this shot, you know, and film, you know, a film version of it.
Bro, that's
that'd be pretty fire.
That's crazy. You know, but goodness, you know, it's you can pretty much, you know, substitute that trauma experience that person did with, you know, bullying or whatever trauma, or you witnessing, you know, a bad car accident or something, whatever it is that traumatizes you, you know, and it works in that situation too. So, you know, it's a piece that, you know, I really put a lot into it, you know, and, you know, it's.
How long was that creating process? Was that like how long did it take you to create that?
Definitely like, you know, a couple of days, you know, just like, you know, really just getting in on it, understanding the effects of how trauma, you know, how that has on your relationships, you know, what it looks like, the different symptoms of it. You know, maybe you're not sleeping as much, or, you know, just certain things. And understanding, how I could, portray that, in this piece and whatnot. But yeah, it and then also finding the right music that I felt like really could tell the story. And, Her has a perfect, that song, man, the song itself is just you feel it in it, and, but it took some time. I really took my time with it. I really.
I was about to say, because it takes a lot. Even a lot of people think that you coming up with an idea to try to be creative, and then it's like, no, you got to think about how the receiver is gonna receive it. Because like you said, you even went to your research of thinking like, I want to be factual based too, and then be like mindful of the person that is going through it, the person that may be triggered by it, the person that has maybe gone through something or seen somebody gone through that. You sat down and had to really research that thing.
And I think when I went to see the show, like it possibly could trigger some people, when you're going that. But it was towards the end of it. There's a part where main character is like reaching for the light, because he's already kind of every time he lashes out. His father, the father figure, is on stage, and so he, even though he saw this traumatic experience that his father did, he's still going back to his father because that's all he knows. And this embodiment, his father is this embodiment of the trauma, and the trauma is telling him to numb the pain. And so he's doing these things, and
that's heavy, bro.
It's crazy because
that is crazy.
At the end, when he's he's done it the last time, and the best friend and the girlfriend kind of leave stage, but he's still on stage. His father, the father figure, that character, is still on stage as the main character is trying to reach for the light. There's like a spotlight where it's like he's trying to reach for the light. He's trying to reach to start the healing process, but his trauma at the very last moment like swifts him away, and at that point, I heard somebody in the crowd go like gasp, because it was like one of those like, dang, like it's like one of those like, oh my goodness, like, because again, trauma is what prevents you from starting the healing process. So you see that portrayed right there, and it's just like, man, like that kind of it leaves you there, but it's
getting influenced by your own piece, bro.
So is it left on a cliffhanger? Like you kind of get left in your emotions, or is there a conclusion?
So there is a conclusion. Like towards the end of it, like the girlfriend comes back on stage. She realizes what happens, or what has happened to her. Her boyfriend, and how his choice, has left to this decision, and now she has that opportunity to start her healing process. Because she was going through her own throughout that, and so although it may not have ended well in that sense for him, you see both choices being portrayed, the one that took this road and the one that is choosing to overcome and start that healing process. So you see her step into that spotlight, and like she's ready, and it's
that's heavy, bro.
Yeah, it's
that's dope.
It's but man, the piece is, it's a deep one. I mean, I feel like
we need to definitely shoot that ASAP. So
yeah, man,
that's fire, bro. So that's recently the thing that you got done doing.
Yeah.
And and I'll need. You said that we could watch it right now, right? Or
no.
Excellent.
You can to watch it right now.
We'll see.
In time.
Cool.
Until we get the footage.
Right. I think we got that one. Go ahead.
Hey,
that was
mine's better actually.
It's good, man.
It really is. We should.
It's good.
But the next thing, man, that we've got, bro, we're gonna go ahead and promote it now, just so we can have the accountability. But I'm gonna say it and speak it into the universe, because it won't drop until we get it done.
Right.
But worldwide session, bro.
Worldwide session, worldwide jam session, whatever. We don't know what we're calling it yet, but it's
gonna be fire. So like we're gonna, I'm gonna say it, because I think like this will probably be dropping around the same time that we're gonna be doing that. Hopefully.
Squad. Yeah.
And but that we're gonna be doing this event for the dance community.
Yes.
And what do you think that I think it's dope because for one, y'all just got done helping out with an event in the Paseo district, and bro, there was a super dope turnout for this dance event that y'all did.
Yeah, Plaza District. Yeah, Calderon Festival. That kind of started off. Shout out to Heachaw and and them being able to put that together at the Plaza District. That was back in May, and then following that was June 4th. They had the Red Bull BC1 USA World Qualifiers.
No, not the Red Bull BC one. No? Yeah, I wish that would be insane.
What was it?
It was the so there's another big like international jam. It's called the World Breaking Classic, and so they and it's pretty much up there, just like Red Bull BC one, and like a lot of heavy hitters from around the world come and compete. And they had the first USA qualifier in like 10 years in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and that was fire. It was like a couple weekends ago.
So was it a competition in Tulsa?
Yeah, it was a 2v2 competition for like $4,000.
What was that? What does that mean for the people who don't know what 2v2
Oh, 2v2. So it's two dancers versus two dancers, and they usually do like a top 16 bracket.
Are they like on a team or are they?
Yeah, they're on a team and they battle against each other.
Ooh.
Yeah, and these are like some of the world's best b-boys. Like basically what you see on TV is like there in person.
Did it get intense?
Yeah, it got intense.
What was it like?
I won't name drop, but some people got salty because they lost and just decided to leave the building.
So we're trying to ride the wave of like these events, and that's what we're wanting to do with
exactly. We want to be able to provide something that like Josh is more so involved a lot with the choreography world or the studio world of things, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of more like, I break and I pop. So I'm kind of like more on the street side of things. Yeah, I try to like avoid like saying street. I just feel like it's cliche and I don't know. But yeah, and so it's like as soon as I moved back, actually, like the week I was here, me and Josh met, and I told him how I want to throw a jam. Yeah, and it's and like he was already like,
like we already on it, man.
Right, yeah, that's and so like it's kind of crazy.
Wait, so y'all didn't even talk about this already?
We had already been
bro, that's wild.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately, this is like we want this to be our contribution to kind of really like unite like the studio culture and the street dance culture. There's dope organizations like Groovement out there, and we want to continue to just unite everybody. And
in Oklahoma City specific, I mean, the other scenes probably have it too, but like in Oklahoma City, the studio scene and like the street scene have kind of clashed in some ways,
right?
And so like we're Band of Misfits is literally a crew.
Band of Misfits, we do it all.
We're literally like studio and the street world of things. Right. So it's like man, like we're also in GNWY. Like let's do this thing, man. And like
So I feel like it's like
do something to give back and like just like bring people in and see. And this is like good exposure for GNWY also because we have barely touched like the street scene of things, and so it's gonna give us the opportunity to be like we're not trying to overtake anything, we're just trying to unite.
And it just gives us the platform to talk about what we do.
Ultimately,
too. I mean,
that's true.
Because I feel like we have all types of dancers. Freestyle is the key style, so that's kind of where I started. But it's one of those things where we feel we have the connections and we can with the resources to bring it all together and kind of start something that's special here in the city and whatnot. And so we're currently right now we're working on trying to get Buddha Stretch to come out and be a part of this event with us, and we're wanting to do a lot of stuff, we want to put on the ciphers, we want to put on the 1v1 and the 3v3, battles and whatnot, and kind of have this to be something where, again, we can all come together.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you've been to many jams, but they're like, it's such a great opportunity to meet people and
definitely,
and like Josh said, network. Like it's literally like, especially like with a bunch of dancers, like everyone's already gonna be like, hey, what's your IG? You know what I mean? So,
and I think that's kind of one of the cool things that with the Calderon Festival, because that was like kind of one of the first festivals that were actually just geared towards dance, you know, dancing of all styles, you know, and just everyone being all in the same place, you know, which I thought that was great. And, you know, and I feel like, us just riding the wave of these past couple of events and just kind of having more opportunities for, you know, the dance community to come out and unite. And
with our scene being so small, you know, you don't have like events that are like, you know, going on like almost every other weekend, like in Seattle or California. Like all the bigger cities like have events like going on like almost every weekend or every other weekend. And so like this gives also both communities something to like train for
education,
and like really
too.
work for. Exactly that too, because with like the dancers that we're bringing out, they're also going to be doing workshops. They're also, you know, they might. I think we may do like a meet and greet with like a question and answer. You know what I mean? So
So
I think it's dope because, like, I mean, we've been putting on events for a long time, but for one that's just like ours, that it legit has no, you know, we're catering to one group of dancer. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's dope why GNWY is putting it on, because it's like we cater to all different types of creative arts.
It's time
so
to
it's like
break into that.
We do not care if, like, you know, what's going, you know, everybody's gonna get highlighted. And I think like that's a dope thing too, is like because you said education part of it, and the whole education part of, you know, dancing, it's like there's so many elements to this hip hop world, bro. And like people that just get consumed with you know, one element of hip hop, then it's like you're missing out on like the whole thing.
And you know what's crazy is each element too is so deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
and it's crazy because, not to cut you off, but like even seeing it like in the like studio competition side of things, and like for me, like when I see it, I'm just like, oh man, like, you know, hey, show your hip hop moves, you know, and then you just start seeing people just, you know, twerking, and it's like, no, that's not what hip hop is. It's just like, man, like, so like being able to have like the educators to educate, you know, these studios and the teachers and whatnot, so that, you know, they can, you know, teach what needs to be taught, you know, in the studios, you know, even if your kids aren't going to these jams, they need to understand, you know, that hip hop is more than just a dance. You know, it's a way of life. You know, it's a culture. You know, and so
really
and that you could be encountering hip hop regardless of where you're at. You know what I'm saying? And like whether it's from fashion, whether it's from painting, even visual arts of like where, you know, graffiti. Fonts or graffiti. Bro, there's so many elements, and people think that it's like it looks like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is so like closed-minded to what hip hop can be. Because like even whenever I first got into it too, I was just doing like, you know, just the rap side of things, and I've like had a huge appreciation for rap and everything like that, and then going to all of these open mic nights and traveling with the music, and then getting into even started, you know, going toward the spoken word aspect of it, and then getting into like, you know, Project Elevate, Generation Y, and all this kind of stuff. It was like, yo, there's so much more to hip hop than what everybody thinks. And that's what
my
sucks.
wife said the same thing. Like when we met and she started coming to events, like it's like almost like a whole new world.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, again, just to go back to Calderon Festival, I felt like they got a little snippet of that on our side when, you know, when the groovement part next to the plaza walls, like, and kind of the thing that we had going on there, just like, I felt like it was a dope presentation, you know.
Because you had Ad-Lib on the side doing his merch sell and stuff like that too.
Well, yeah, I mean, shoot, just in all the different street dance styles being taught, and just like, you know, just the people that were just walking through and being able to like see like this and witness it.
That was
awesome. So dope. And that's what I'm hoping, you know, out of this session that we're gonna be doing. Like it'll be like, I mean, the way that we're talking is gonna be so fire, but like, you know, being able to legit get everybody to grasp the concept of like, you know, what goes on within the world, because I've grown to appreciate it even more so, like, you know, through these past 6 years, you know, and so and I don't even dance, you know what I'm saying, like you know, being able to just even watch from the outside and be like, dang, I wish I could do that, but more so being like, I can appreciate it. Even though
it kind of like helps you keep going too, because you don't have to be a dancer in order to be inspired by dance. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Like you can, you know, watch Josh, you know, get down and be be like, man, like this guy puts a lot into his dance. I can do the same thing with, with videography.
Yeah, and I think
Right.
that's kind of the what we give as like Generation Y when we go to these like assemblies. Like they see our love and passion for dance or whatever we're doing, and then they say, man, you know what? Let me pick up that violin again or something.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
it just kind of starts to remind them of that love that they had for something, because they're able to see it and recognize, oh man, the way he liked that, man.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm trying to tell like everybody, whether it's like a donor or a sponsor or something. There's something about the arts and the creative like genius of a person that like is universal for everybody.
Yeah.
And like just think about like there's probably songs out there that somebody has to listen to get motivated for whatever they're like passionate about, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they've got to get in the zone. What do? They turn on a song or like you know what I'm saying? For them to get in a passionate like element, they like turn on a music, or they watch a music video, or they're watching or listening to a spoken word or even a podcast. It's like the visual and the audible arts is so important, and people find motivation and inspiration from that, and people don't understand that.
Exactly.
It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Say it again.
And everything is social media that is like that digital and creativity is spawned off of hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like if we're really going back to a lot of
bro.
what it is, visual, like audible, everything is like it goes to the roots of that. So it's like it's so fire, and people need to understand and give credit where it's due, man, and that's where it is. So yeah, man, I love it. I'm excited for this session though. So it's gonna be fire.
Yeah, we go.
It's gonna be dope.
It's gonna happen.
And we're gonna do a podcast from it too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it'll be dope to be able to have the dope educators on and us being able to ask them about how they've dealt with mental health and growing up, and
because for people who don't know that's going to be watching this podcast, who's Buddha Stretch and who's he's worked with and all that.
Man, Buddha Stretch. I mean, he's an OG, and
been in the game.
He's choreographed for Michael Jackson. He's done a lot when it comes to teaching hip hop dance and the social dance side of things, and the hip hop foundation as far as vocabulary, like the Bart and Simpson and like these 90s dance moves that we see all the time.
Pivotal for right now.
Pivotal, yeah. And I think it's going to be a dope opportunity to bring him out here, because I feel like as far as educators that are teaching in these studios, being able to understand that hip hop and teaching these different foundational styles and moves in their classes is going to aid their kids and helping them understand what hip hop is. When someone says, "Hey, what is hip hop?" or "Show me some," and you're not just twerking or whatever, but you're able to show that you
one more time
twerking here.
Why your eyes roll back in the back of your head?
You're able to put them grooves into it, and put that vibe into it. But I think he's going to be a dope educator that we're going to be able to bring out here and really kind of give us some great information and teach us about the history of hip hop too. Like he always does a really great job of storytelling and really kind of.
Even you randomly saying that, even though it was a joke, bro, there's something to that of like just for somebody to do the motion. And then there's something different when somebody conveys the emotion of the motion, right? Yeah. There's something different about it. It just hits different when somebody like, you know what I'm saying, gets it, feels it, and conveys it. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody could do the motion. I could do the motion if I wanted to, but there's something different about being able to internally feel it and be able to express it, bro. Like there's something complete, and that goes with anything. There's people who can have a relationship and just go through the motion, right? There's people who can like have a position and go through the motion of whatever work you're doing, but until you actually feel it, realize who it connects with, that's whenever you can express it differently. Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the issue with some dancing. Like, are you really dancing?
is it hip hop? Is it really hip hop? Are you a student of hip hop, or are you just an audience of hip hop? In your classes, are you actually teaching? Are you studying it just like you would, ballet and all these other?
Bro, call these people out, man.
Or are or is just your, classes just
Josh
choreography
some drama
based?
with some dance.
Timmy, I'm out for you.
No, it's just like it's just
It's real.
these are those things that it's like if you want to teach these things, you have to learn how to you want to be able to teach your kids locking, popping, just all these different street styles, so that they can find their own, because freestyle is a key style, but you want to be able to give them the vocabulary so they can speak it. So that's
That's just like the school system, bro. Because it's like, I mean, we all teach them one way or whatever, but until you can actually show the student all possibilities of life that they can choose from, then it's not so much like we're trying to push one agenda on a kid anymore. We are trying to expand their reach. We're trying to expand them as a human being, and like, just like, because it blows my mind whenever we go into schools and we're seeing like, faculty, and it's all state based, you know what I'm saying? Because they get, what they need to teach and stuff like that. But it's like, it's really thinking about the whole concept of, if I'm able to give a student, no matter their class, whatever home background they come from, whatever, you know what I'm saying, give them all equal playing base of like, these are the opportunities that you have. I'm going to give you all the information that you need. So now you can choose whatever you want to be. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the same thing with like all these creative arts. It's like, if you're able to, that's why you're saying that it's so deep, because like each level of dance is so deep. Freestyle, like breaking, like, choreographing, like all these things. There's so many levels to each one. Yeah. But whenever you get a student passionate about one specific one, then it's like they're gonna go crazy,
right? Yeah,
and succeed in it like nobody's business, right?
That's crazy. I mean, ultimately, and I mean, us throwing this event, we want to be able to unite them, and so the studio dance culture can see, the street dance culture and be inspired by that.
Then you start becoming unified because you find common ground, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And vice versa too. Street dance cultures, they can, accept and want to open arms and want to educate, those that do not know as much, and so. Ultimately, that's what we're trying to do, share knowledge, right?
Because there's got to be respect on both sides for there to be any unification in anything, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's with anything. Man, that could go with it, legit anything. Man. So, but yeah, bro, I'm excited. I'm especially excited because like you guys, for one, are on the team with Generation Y, but y'all have like the legit dope, pure hearts about unifying people together. Unity, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing, there's no hidden agenda about, hey, we're trying to throw an event because of whatever. It's like y'all like have the right heart of like just legit bringing everybody together, and Generation Y is a perfect, example of that too. Is like, different type of arts, different type of people, different type of talents and abilities, like, and all coming together for one purpose. And it's to push and pursue purpose. And so I'm excited about it, and y'all are the perfect people to do that, man. So
we excited.
We're
gonna get this done. We're gonna get this done.
Yeah, we have to get it done. We have to. It's on the podcast, right, Taylor?
So you heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Yes. I'm excited, man. So I mean, any other thing, man, that y'all have that y'all would like to leave with inspiration for the people? You can look in that camera, tell them, and inspire them real quick before we can bounce out of here. So.
If you take care of your passion, your passion will take care of you.
Oh man.
That was real, though.
Shoot, I would probably just say, like, man, things can get really heavy. Things can get really, like, almost become blind at one point with being able to see hope. And I would just say, find whatever you can to help keep you breathing, help keep you motivated and inspired, because you are valuable. Everyone is valuable, no matter how much you hate somebody. So yeah, always keep going. Yeah, definitely. I know I don't even know like how to finish that off, but I've been through a lot these past few years with depression, and I've been digging myself out and in a good way. Like I became aware of it and started making change.
Yeah.
And I became unhopeful at one point. So I just want people to keep going and not give up.
Keep
for
going,
sure.
guys.
Yeah.
Keep going.
That's why we're glad that you're here, Rocko.
Because it's crazy, like moving back and getting back involved with GNWY really also helped me breathe a little more. Yeah.
That's good.
Bro,
sir.
don't you get me emotional, man. That's so fire, bro. We're glad that you're back, bro,
Hey,
for real, because
I'm glad
you've
to
got
see
an
everybody and-
influence and a voice for real. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, you got anything, bro?
I just said it in the camera. I said it in the camera. You know.
Excellent.
But
It's just an honor to even be like considered for this, man.
Yeah. No, thanks for having
Do
us
it louder.
on.
Do
Jenny.
it louder in the mic, bro. No, one more time.
What are we doing? What's all we doing?
Bro,
What's in
for real,
Nigeria?
I really do appreciate y'all, man. But all joking aside, because y'all have legit been here from the beginning, and I've been inspired by y'all from the beginning too. So appreciate everything that y'all done for the hip hop community, the dance community, the assembly group community. You know what I'm saying? And so we've been in it, and we're still going through it, and I feel like the turn of it is exciting, man, because there's something bigger for Oklahoma community and bigger things for GNWY. So we're excited. So
Definitely, man.
Sure.
excited to have y'all, bro, on the podcast.
Thank
Y'all
you.
been
Thank
a true honor and blessing
blast.
feature. So, but if y'all would like to follow them on anything and everything, be sure to go on anything and everything and follow them. You can
us.
follow Josh at what?
User network.
You're gonna have to spell that for people who
Yeah.
don't know or
It'll
misspell.
They'll put it on the.
We'll put
they'll
it
type
on
it
there.
under.
Point
Right here.
downward. Yeah.
Right here. Okay.
Click right here. And then Rocko where click right here.
What? No, it's-
I'm Rocko Gentry Visuals.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
right there.
love everything that these guys are doing. If y'all want to follow up with anything and everything that they do, be sure to do that and follow them. And then also we've got a lot of their arts as well on the YouTube page and Generation Y page. So one more time, bro, I appreciate y'all coming through. And then follow, subscribe, share, and keep it going.
No.
Y'all are no. Yes. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Peace.